is Valley News Live at 5.
Good afternoon, everyone. The list is growing as many FM organizations announcing today that they will be requiring employees to be vaccinated against COVID-19 within the coming weeks. And that's sparking plenty of conversation on our Facebook page. Bethany Retirement Living says employees will need to start the vaccination series by September 15th and complete the series by October 15th. That goes for contractors and vendors as well. In addition to that, starting August 31st, all new employees will be required to have the vaccine. All True Hospital also announced that employees will be required to be fully vaccinated. This will impact all new and current employees, including physicians, volunteers, and students, regardless of their work location. Employees can request an exemption for medical, religious, or even philosophical reasons. In Minnesota, Governor Tim Walz ordered today that all state employees will be required to prove that they have been vaccinated against the virus or at least agree to undergo weekly testing by September 8th. We'll have to check with Hutch, but I think today's temperatures have been pretty much average for a mid-August. Let's pick his brain and find out what to expect for this evening. Hutch?
Mike, thanks so much. We are enjoying quiet conditions here in the Southern Valley, and I got to tell you, we even got a drop or two of rain during the overnight hours in the FM area. That's all it amounted to, as traffic's pretty heavy on the I-29 and 32nd Avenue exchange. Hey, that Perseid meteor shower gets to be in full swing. It'll be peaking the next couple of nights. We should have some areas with clear skies to get a look at that. You'll want to check it out mainly after midnight all the way through dawn. It should be pretty dark outside because that moon is just a crescent out there, not providing much light pollution. Here's a look at those showers that moved through during the overnight hours. A little bit of moisture fell in Lakes Country as we had some showers pop up after dark. Estimates of about 0.2 of an inch in eastern Becker County, and a few areas up in northwest Minnesota picking up as much as 0.4 of an inch estimated by radar. Here's a look at your temperatures. Sizzling hot weather here in the south. 89 Jamestown, 88 Oaks, above average in Fargo, but at average in the Grand Forks area. Cooler and 70s in northern Minnesota. Mike, tonight, 80s and windy through the early evening hours. The wind does taper off. I cannot rule out a few clouds, but the best chance of that will be up north in Grand Forks, although we're starting to see a little break in the clouds there for you as well. And it looks like a dry stretch of weather. We will warm back up after a cooler trend. I'll have all the hour-by-hour details on what you can expect here coming up in just a couple of moments. And we'll look ahead at that smoke outlook and our rain chances as well.
Dry, imagine that.
Yeah, go figure.
Thanks. The pilot involved in a plane crash yesterday afternoon has been identified. He's Jeffrey Kloster of Omaha. Investigators are still trying to figure out why that plane crashed. It went down just outside the city of West Fargo. The pilot was trapped inside and his legs were severely injured. We now know the name of the pilot that died in a plane crash earlier this week in Emmons County, North Dakota. He's 63-year-old Michael Gunia of Linton. He died at the scene Tuesday morning after his crop sprayer hit a high-voltage transmission line. The Hotel Donaldson will not have to pay millions to the families involved in a deadly fight outside the bar. The verdict came in less than 3 hours after the jury took into deliberations, with the jury siding in favor of the Hodo in the civil case involving Jamie Grant and Christopher Sang. It stemmed from the night in 2017 when Sang, Grant, and Darren Patterson got into a fight outside the Hodo, and Patterson threw a punch that killed Jamie Grant and seriously injured Sang. The lawsuit alleged that the hotel staff should have seen the fight coming and prevented it. 3 major U.S. airlines say that they will not require shots for their employees. Delta, American, and Southwest won't be implementing a COVID-19 vaccine mandate. So far, only one airline, United, is requiring every employee get vaccinated. Delta says 75% of its workforce is already vaccinated. Southwest says the company is still strongly encouraging it. And American says that they're offering people an extra vacation day next year if they get vaccinated by the end of August. Now to a new concern confronting officials and businesses trying to police proof of vaccination among adults. It's the rise of phony cards being sold online. And with many universities and colleges requiring proof of vaccine, there are reports that some students may be trying to game the system. Reporter Tom Costello has more on that.
This fall, getting back to normal includes college students going back to campus. But with nearly 700 universities and colleges now requiring proof of vaccination, some administrators are worried about a new black market. Counterfeit certifications, some going for as much as $200.
The students who've spoken with me have been clear that they know exactly how they would get fraudulent vaccine cards, and that they know students who have submitted these fraudulent vaccine cards.
The University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, one of the schools requiring students to submit their proof of vaccination. As an alternative, some, like UNC, also offer the option for students to undergo regular testing. Junior Simon Palmori says he believes most of his classmates would not upload a fake card, but
it's really distressing to think that students that could be sitting behind me in class could be both unvaccinated and not being tested.
UNC tells NBC News it conducts periodic verification of documents and no fraudulent entries have been found so far. It also notes that lying or falsifying documents could result in disciplinary action. But fake vaccination cards have been advertised online, like this Instagram user offering $25 per card, and this Telegram account with the tagline, "Protect yourself from the poisonous COVID-19 vaccines." The FBI used a public service announcement earlier this year to be on the lookout, warning against making or buying a fake card.
The unauthorized use of a government agency seal is illegal, and it is punishable by a hefty fine and/or up to 5 years in prison.
Two airline passengers entering Canada from the U.S. were recently fined nearly $16,000 each for using fake vaccination cards. It all comes as some cities and businesses are implementing their own proof of vaccination requirements for activities like dining indoors, going to gyms, or seeing shows.
We're trying to entertain folks. So I'm not saying anybody has to get a vaccine or a negative test, but if you don't, then you don't get to come to the show.
But for some in the restaurant industry already hard hit by the pandemic, frustration over having to police their customers' vaccination status.
To me, it seems like the government is trying to get around it by having small business do the enforcing that the government should really be doing.
Back on campus in Chapel Hill, Professor Chapman is hoping everyone takes the lessons learned from the pandemic to have a safe semester.
It means thinking about what those healthcare providers have gone through over the course of the last 18 months and not wanting to be a part of stressing them further.
Experts say part of the problem is the flimsy paper cards were never meant to serve as long-term identification tools, particularly given how easily they can be recreated. But again, the unauthorized use of an official government seal like the CDC seal is punishable by up to 5 years in prison and a $5,000 fine. Today marked the last day for the Little Red Reading Bus program at West Fargo's library. It offered a chance for kids to maintain, even strengthen their reading skills during the summer. This program had over 3,000 visits across 140 bus stops. While the route may have ended today, it's still used to provide free reading opportunities.
It can be difficult to motivate kids sometimes in the summer when they're not in school to read, so we like to be able to provide sort of different exciting ways to get kids really engaged with their learning, continue to do it in the summer, and really motivated themselves to do it in the summer months.
Meanwhile, the West Fargo Public Library is kicking off an event that will have games, face painting, and inflatables. It's going to run tomorrow from 5:30 to 7:30 at Rendezvous Park in West Fargo. We've got full details. They're on valleynewslive.com. A nationwide survey is shedding some light on how parents feel about vaccine and mask mandates for their children. Those details are still to come.
Some heavy rain to start the work week. Last night we got a dose of some light rain showers, a little heavier up in the Devil's Lake area, but here's proof. I don't know, maybe 33 raindrops hit the FM area as we went through the overnight hours. Not very much, near those mid-80s once again today. A little cooler and then a warming trend. Your forecast is next.